in the upper left. He is for Onside Gaming, looking so damn good as of late. Folks, he is Neeb. His opponent, the victor of last week's North American tilt, in the gold for Shopify, it's Byun. And I gotta say, I appreciate the setup we got here, because it's summer, it's hot out. I've had some, I came back from playing Ultimate, I've been enjoying the outdoors, and we got Neeb and Byun in ketchup and mustard. Looking like they're gonna be very comfortable on both sides of a hot dog. But of course, only a good hot dog. Like, get a kosher hot dog, make one yourself, not a $1 hot dog or something. Make it good, or even better, make it a sausage. Although I guess if you're gonna do that, then you'd go peppers and onions, and that's not quite the color of Neeb and Byun now. So, just a really high quality hot dog with ketchup and mustard. That's what this matchup is. And I swear I've had dinner, okay? I swear I've eaten enough. But for now, of course, Byun, he's going for an expansion at the natural, at the base that is kind of broken for Terran, to be totally honest. Not broken in a wow, this is just unbeatable, but it is an advantage that this map does give Terrans. Actually, a couple advantages that Stargazers doesn't give Terrans, but this is a base that Terrans can take without really losing any sort of income efficiency. It takes 4 trips from an SCV to clear off these double mineral patches, which is just about the same amount of time that it takes to build a command center, or to build an orbital. So you build the orbital as you clear out the unbuildable spot, and then the orbital completes, it lifts over, and you really lose very, very little mining time. And then you just have a base that's free. There is very little pressure that Neeb can put on it. The one bit of pressure that he can put on, of course, is with a Stargate. So that's what he's going to do. It's going to be a Stargate on the way, and I'm somewhat surprised not to see a Stargate get built like right here, because that effectively turns it into a really nice proxy Stargate setup. But Neeb now going into the natural, he's going to look to see if he can find some evidence of things, but this is a weird build from Byun. First of all, this is an insanely quick +1. Like it's hard to write down just how quick this +1 is. It's hard to explain just how quick this +1 is. It's like a solid 2 minutes faster. And also, of course, getting the eBay on the wall is kind of interesting. Normally, you would get your factory in the wall or something, or you'd put the barracks right here and you get a second supply depot. But you can tell that this build is insanely optimized for what Byun is trying to do. So for now, Adept knocking down the reactor as well as it can. This is a Stalker's going to arrive, and these Marines do not fight this army. But maybe with 5 Marines, it's going to be enough. Stalkers and Adepts, they have to run backwards. One Adept getting rather low indeed, but the micro from Neeb is actually not going to be enough. The Adept is dead. 1 Marine falls, and now Neeb runs forward because, of course, infinite micro ability, but High Ground has a lot to say about that one. That being said, Oracle on the way behind this, but there's some Widow Mines in some interesting positions. As Neeb looking to run in, he doesn't see it. That's a dead Oracle. Okay. Neeb is not in a great spot this game, because I think we're going to see a lot of pressure coming out of Byun very quickly. That's normally what this +1 means. Or I don't know, maybe we can argue that it's just going to be for a 1-1 timing. I think we've seen Byun do that. Maybe it was Vindicta I'm thinking of, but I've certainly seen, there's one Terran player that I've seen do that recently, do it rather well. But Neeb does not seem interested in making that happen. He has this natural down, sure, but he's got a gateway on the map. Looks like he wants to try to break Byun. This is such a weird build. It's 4-gate Phoenix. And Byun taking the roundabout way, making sure he can check out the gold. There's no gold. This is not Max Packs, it's Neeb. Max Packs, in fact, fell to Neeb in this setup. So Byun just making sure that Neeb not maybe taking a page out of Max Packs' book. But this drop on the bottom side, Neeb is setting up to deny any sort of pressure. The drop's already out there. So Byun scouts that there is a 3rd base on the way. But Blink is mostly done. It's not quite there just yet. And this is okay. Let's rethink this a little bit. This is effectively, it's Oracle into Blink, but it's 4-gate Blink instead of 3. The Phoenix just provides high ground vision. Not that you really need it, because of course with Blink being done right now, Xel'Naga Tower provides vision into the natural. You can blink into it fairly easily, but the Phoenix does provide, as Widow Mine drops into the natural here. Good pull from Neeb to start. Looks like he's going to get maybe more than 2. 1 probe goes down, 2 probes go down, In the main base, there's the burrow. That's just going to be a little bit more, make it 3. But in there we go. This is the position. This is what makes this map so nice if you're a Blink Stalker player, because you can just go. You have high ground vision, so it's very easy. You don't even really need any sort of observer, oracle, something like that. So the Stalker's just slowly blinking backwards. The Marines do not have stim. They got +1, and that's nice. That helps out. But 8 SCVs have fallen. We can probably see another warp in from Neeb soon enough. Now that he's handled the mischief, now that he's managed the mischief that Byun has been inflicting upon the map. So Neeb, he's only up about 5 workers, despite all of that. But he's going to blink into the main base or into the natural once again, targeting down a couple probes. And now as the Marines run forward again, blink is not yet done. So we're going to see one Marauder get lifted. And again, +1 is really strong as the Phoenix now is going to fall. So a little bit less early warning that Neeb's going to have at where things are. But now he's going to blink in once again, moving forward. Marauder 1 falls. Marauder number 2 taking the same fate there, and more SCVs paying the iron price. 9 make it 10. The Marauder's really the only thing that's making anything happen here. Neeb loses a couple Stalkers, but now he finds himself up 10 total workers. More Stalkers are going to warp in. I thought this was 4 gate. It is 4 gate. Yeah, he just warps in 3 Stalkers, but more gateways on the way, going up to 8. There's not a lot of gas here, folks. It's only 3 gate. It's only 3 gas on the map, so it's just going to be charged up behind this. Eventually, there's going to be a robo. Eventually, there is going to be more stuff, but for now, Neeb, low-tech, high-impact army. And Byun, yeah, he has 1-1. Yes, he has stim, but if Neeb can take the fight that he's looking for, it's just going to be a matter of more stuff beating less stuff. It's going to be a matter of quantity, not quality. And behind this, of course, Neeb does have a double forge on the way. He will eventually get those upgrades up. He will, through the might of Chronos, start to equalize things just a little bit, especially considering that there's no robo, or there's no armory, excuse me, from Byun in this game. So he's not going to be able to get into a quick 2-2, nothing like that. But that +1, it is a bit of a saving grace. As this Stalker, oh, nice blink there, Neeb, but didn't know he was paying attention. Stalker stays alive, and that's just a charge down on the Widow Mine. So Neeb, bottom side, wants to make sure that there's no pesky drop down there, and that's going to cause all manner of consternation and woe. But for now, third base done and mining. I'm surprised to see Neeb not going into even more gas, but I guess he just got the robo for a couple observers and a warp prism, which, you know, that's still valid. 1-1 is on the way. It's not done just yet, and Byun, rather reticent to move out on the map. He understands that he has taken a lot of damage in this game. And that does, of course, complicate things significantly. Widow Mine goes down, or Widow Mine gets triggered by the scout just there. That's fine. I love the fake warp prism, though. It gives so many Widow Mines in this natural position. It does give Neeb a really nice idea of where everything is, where all those Widow Mines are. When all the Widow Mines in the natural, you know what that tells Neeb? I can attack through the front. That sounds great. That sounds like a wonderful thing to do, as he's got a 4th base on the way in the pocket position. I don't know that he attacks before 1-1 is done. I think that's going to be his timing, really. So there's the real Warp Prism for Zealots in it. He's going to take a fight on the right side. Maybe Stalker blink forward. Medevac does not go down. We're going to see a Marauder die. Guardian Shield gets popped here, so Neeb, at least a little serious about this engagement. Now he's going to back off once again, but Warp Prism on the north side, that is what Neeb is looking for. He knows where the Widow Mines are, and more importantly, he knows where they are not. So he's going to try to sneak his way on through. Taking a couple shots from the missile turret. Bio's going to try to stim in here, and this is not working out whatsoever. Warp Prism goes down. Oh, Byun handles this beautifully. As we got a depot top hat. But double Colossus are on the way behind this, and we start to see Protoss players more and more just really lean into Colossus play against Byun, because Byun is one of these Terrans that does not appreciate getting Vikings. He thinks he can do it all with his setup, with his fight setups, and with just a bunch of bio and ghosts, which is fair. I mean, he definitely can. But he did have 2 Vikings on the way. We're gonna have to see if he keeps building those. Right now, not really. 2-2 on the way. Neeb kind of all in on this 1-1 setup here. Stalkers move forward, run back. But Neeb needs his Colossus to join the fray. And by the way, folks, we do not have extended thermal lance. It's kind of a 2 Colossus all in almost coming in from Neeb right now. He's doing a good job. The Colossus are hidden just yet. There we go. Now 2-2 on the way, but you do need that extended thermal lance. Good force fields here to start Marauders getting sectioned off. But there are so many more where that came from. And Zealots, the force fields now working against them. But now the Colossus, they run forward. No observers in this army though. So there we go. Neeb's gonna do the old trick of yeah, let me just kill one of my own Stalkers. At least take shields off of it. And that, of course, can be obnoxious. Neeb is going to fall behind in the 2-2 upgrades as well. Byun's 2-2 just about done, but Neeb, he's on 72 probes. He's got his 5th base on the way. His economy is in a really nice spot. And I would really like his army if he had extended thermal lance, but he does not. That means Marauders can get on top of this army so much easier. Now, the argument may be that he says, you know what, I'm going to use this Colossus for 1 or 2 fights, and then I'm going to move into Disruptor tech. All right, this is more to force out Vikings. This is more to make Byun's immediate push less scary. And I don't really, I only need the Colossus for this specific timing, so extended thermal lance is really not going to do as much for me as it might if I was relying on Colossus for more of the game. I don't buy that argument. I think extended thermal lance is just too powerful to really ever neglect. The snipes go down. The Stark's going forward. 1 Viking goes down. 2nd one getting rather low here. The Colossus, we're also seeing this. They could be fighting right now. They could be shaving off some Marines. Byun, though, he sees an opportunity. Stims backwards, forces the army of Neeb to run around a corner. But the Marines, they're a bit of an awkward spot. Now, the one argument is they don't want to fight the Colossus, so they're running away. And it's just the Marauders fighting, but even still. Good fight there from Byun once again as Neeb, realizing that, yeah, I kind of need that one. Extend thermal lance on the way now. Rather late, though. It's not going to happen. It's not really going to be ready before Neeb maxes out, as now Byun's going to find the probe. He's going to find the gateway too. So the Zonaga position that Neeb has been holding for the majority of this game, he's not holding it anymore. But Neeb is just Neeb is every base on the map, or at least every base he can reasonably be expected to take. The gold base is, of course, contested. It's not his base. It's just a base that exists that both players will want. So Byun maxed out. He has 2-2. Neeb, not quite maxed out, not on 2-2 just yet. It's going to be done in just a second. But his army is a decent bit more expensive. If he's able to take the good fight, Disruptor shot's going to go out. Byun targeting them down, but that last shot hits with a plum. I don't know if it's going to be enough, though. 1 Colossus will fall. Disruptor shot, zoning Byun out. Not even. Vikings knocking the 2nd Colossus down, but significant weapons coming in from Neeb behind this one. That Disruptor shot was... He only got 1, but it was beautiful indeed. So now the Stark is blinking left. Byun getting on top of the Disruptor. Another one is going to get EMP down here. Vikings now starting to land. Byun senses opportunity, senses growth. Disruptors are going to knock down all the Vikings as the Stalkers blink desperately, but Shield Battery Overcharge keeping them alive. Byun moving out of Shield Battery Overcharge range, looking for something. But more Disruptors on the way. More Zealots on the way. But it's only 2-2. Neeb to go full Gateway Man here. You kind of got to go 3-3, and you need those shield upgrades. So Widow Mine shot's going to go off, knock down a couple of the Zealots, but the army running forward. Medivacs can't go down just yet. Neeb, he will get the Widow Mine at the last second as Byun has taken that 4th base. Disruptor shot goes out. Oh, Byun, that was a big shot, as it seems like we had a bit of, just an instantaneous bit of lag there. I don't know whose that was, but unfortunate. I guess it was not for the players, though. We did not have a pause. And now the fight seesawing over onto Byun's side of the map. Plenty of Disruptors we're looking at for right now. I mean, of course you would like more, but even Disruptor sitting at the back of things. Widow Mine is going to be dealt with, I assume. There we go. There's a Disruptor dealing with that one. And now Byun feeling maybe a little bit emboldened to run forward. Is there only 2 Disruptors that he knows about, but he scans out, sees a couple more. Backs up. Neeb is going to move up to 6 rather soon, and DT Blink is on the way. The Bio hit squad, well, it's actually just going to go down, taking a Zealot for its troubles, but the Disruptor stays alive. That's the really big deal. So now Neeb setting up a concave here, blinks right, knocks the Marauder down. But the Disruptors are not really where they need to be just yet. They're not really joining this fight just yet. So Neeb now runs forward once again, forcing Byun back. And he can trade pretty poorly at this situation because Byun's only on 4 bases. Neeb has 6. Neeb's economy is massively outstripping what his Protoss or what his Terran opponent has. So long as he does not lose an entire army and gets in this position where he gets run across the map and starts to lose bases, he's going to be rather fine. Good Widow Mine shot there on the Disruptors on the backside. Effectively an EMP. Effectively makes it easier for Byun to take fights later on. But again, Neeb neglected his 3-3 just a little bit. So Byun will have +3 attack. Not armor. He's pulling a Byun here. But he will effectively have a +3 attack coming out rather soon. Actually, it's going to be done. So he's in a bit of an upgrade lead. DT Blink, or Shadow Stride. Not Byun just yet, but Byun in the Marauders behind this one. And that is a bunch of Blink Stalkers on the bottom side. It's not what you would normally do for run by, but I guess he just wants a different reinforcement pattern. ZMP is blinking the army once again. Stalkers here. This was Neeb. That was a gift. Donation. Neeb feeling comfortable in this game. He says, yeah, I'll donate 7 Stalkers for free. But more importantly, it lets Byun know that there is a pylon on the map. Although this pylon may convince Byun that was the only pylon that was there. Now Byun realizing that, yeah, I probably should get armor. So +3 armor is on the way as he takes his 5th base up. Liberator's starting to siege this position. And this is the game state where it starts to feel like Protoss needs to start to develop their tech harder. Blink Stalker Disruptor, Gateway Man style is fantastic against just Bio, or it doesn't trade super effectively, but you can make things happen anyway. Stalker's playing forward, trying to get on top of things. Good splits from Byun here to start, but there are more disruptors where that came from. Big shot on the right side. Stalker's doing what they can to knock these Liberators down, but this is only part of Byun's army. Now, he does clear all the Liberators. Neeb does, but on the bottom side, this is going to be a dead base here from Neeb. Probe's going to get pulled off there. What do we have? A bunch of Stalkers warped in defensively. They don't have 3-3 just yet, so they're not super effective. Neeb kind of in a bit of an awkward situation here. He's lost a lot of supply all of a sudden. 16 probes, a lot of his Stalkers, plenty of disruptors. And Neeb on the other side was not able to break a base, just kill a bunch of Liberators, which is useful, sure, but not really what you want here. Now we're going to have the load up, run away. Neeb now on 5 bases. Not 6, but most importantly, Byun has his 5th base on the way just now. So, Byun slowly developing his economy more and more. Neeb's though, his 3-3 is just about done. He's got plenty of minerals, not a lot of gas though. And it looks like his answer to this is he's going to build a Void Ray. Don't know that he builds multiples, but he got one. And there we go. 3rd level upgrades done for Neeb. As Neeb now taking the bottom side. His worker count, of course, has been reset, but honestly, at this point, kind of happy at 73, 74. Maybe you want your main army to be just a little bit bigger, but Neeb's going to scout out this big drop into his natural. Do we have a recall? We do not. Neeb uses recall earlier. This is 5 medevacs against the Neeb that really can't warp in, so Byun is just tearing Neeb apart at this point. He doesn't really know where to go. You can't blink on top of this army. It's such an awkward spot. EMPs go down. 12 workers fall. Zealot's looking for the flank and is in the other side. Looks like Neeb's going to clean this one up. Disruptor is, well, there's not a lot there. On the other side of the map, though, this is where things are starting to get dicey. The base is dead. Neeb cannot take this fight. He had to go maybe blink into his main and make something else happen. So Byun with a 30 supply lead, rallying more and more across the map. He just tore Neeb apart. He took Neeb's head with his one hand and feet with the other and just gave a great big rip. Now Neeb, supply capped at 156. His bank beaten down. His economy beaten down. His army supply, you guessed it, beaten down. And Byun, for the first time in a long time in this game, he's been able to be active on the map. Not just drops, but be active with his army on the map. But this drop is still not dealt with. 3-3 stimmed bio is truly a terrifying thing. We don't have burst, you don't have maybe DTs or something, but look at this. Neeb is going to try to chase down, try to jump on top of this army in the middle of the map, because at least he can do that one. Zealot flanking a little bit. The Ghosts, they blanket the army with EMPs, but they're still going down here as well. It's only a 20 army supply lead, excuse me, for Neeb, but these disruptors are going to have to say a lot there. But now one disruptor goes down. Good splits here from Byun. 2nd disruptor is going to fall, and there we go. Neeb, he gets ripped asunder by Byun in game 1. Stargazers, of course, does have that pocket natural that the Zelnaga gives vision of, and is actually a really nice blink vector. I mean, we saw Neeb abuse that very well in game 1. But this map, in fact, it's one could argue it's a rather Terran favored map. It is a map that is short. It is a map that has some scary chokes. It is a map that has some really fantastic tank positions, pushing positions into the 3rd. So I'm curious to see what Neeb opts to go for. Now, against players like Byun, I don't know that I like Stargate as much as against, say, a Cure, for example, or a Gumiho, because Byun loves his 3 racks. Now, it's not going to be 3 racks this game, but going Stargate is a great play against players that they like their tech-heavy openings. You know, they want to do some drop or whatever, and then your Phoenix just shut it down and say, no, you don't get to do that. I would argue that Byun throws a 3 racks in just enough that it becomes a little more scarier to do that, but Neeb has successfully called Byun's bluff in this game, so he will open Stargate, and that means that he's going to be able to handle the What Am I drop or whatever comes from Byun pretty well. We're not going to see a lot of early Marines, and that really is the only thing that scares Neeb in this game, although, we're not going to see a bunch of early stimmed Marines. Actually, we got a 2-on-1 coming out of Byun here, so this is going to be a rather quick stim timing, about 5:30. A little bit less Marines than, of course, 3 racks, whatever, but you do have tech behind that. And of course, with these Marines running on the map right now from Byun, he's hoping to catch Neeb when he doesn't really have a lot on the map, where he says, I don't really, I don't want much of anything, but the Adept actually is going to complete the shade into the natural. Here's going to get an SDV. But the Marines are going to kill this off, and actually, the Marines do not kill it. There we go. Good recall coming out of Neeb, and behind this, he knows what's coming. He's building a couple more gateways. There's another Adept here, and with the 2 Adepts in an Oracle, this should just be dead Marines. Yeah, this is not going to get much done. It does kill the Adept, though, and that's something, but Oracle should be able to chase this one down. Neeb is, yeah, he's very happy, and he just killed 6 Marines, taking a little bit of the oomph out of the next level of gun setup, and he is also going to get a scout on the fact that there is a second barracks on the way. No starport, of course, but he's going to get a scout that this is an aggressive option from Byun. Well, even more aggressive than it otherwise would be, but actually the Oracle doesn't go in the main. This kind of goes right there and runs into a Marine and backs up. Neeb may think this is a 3-racks. Then he wouldn't be building his third. I guess he just wanted to pair up double Oracle, but honestly, it's triple Oracle. There, okay. No, we are going triple Oracle. I was gonna say, you know, double Oracle doesn't do much against Terran versus single Oracle. It just, okay, well, you still 2-tick, I guess you 2-tick SCVs instead of 3-tick, but it really doesn't all that much. Anyway, there's the scout that Neeb needed, that he neebed. And he really should not lose this Oracle, just barely. But he does scout that there is a second barracks. He sees there's a third one on the way, no starport. So those are the 3 big things. He knows this is going to be a lot quicker stim. It's going to be done right around that 6-minute mark. And folks, this is the build that, or a version of the build, a variant of the build that killed so many Protoss in Katowice. It was the build that Ryung used with so much aplomb. With triple Oracle here, going to be an interesting setup. So now we're going to see the Cyclone on the, the Oracle's just going to jump on top of this one, especially because the lock-on was used rather unfortunately against something that is not an Oracle. So Stalker Sentry, or a Stalker Adept, excuse me, 3 Stalkers, 2 Adepts into the natural, but there's a tank there. So I don't think this should get too much done. But really it's just going to be a distraction because into the main base, Neeb will go looking to one-tap a bunch of SCVs here. How much damage can he get? And he's going to get 1 worker to start, but Marines are there into the natural. No, not going to be a thing. But Marines, they're zoning out into the missile turret. Beyond being forced to make missile turrets is unfortunate. Oracle will go down there. Neeb, not quite leading with the proper Oracle. Or a good target fire there from Byun. Maybe he did target fire, not sure. But 1 Oracle falls, and the cost of 2 SCVs, this is not paid for itself. This is not what he needed in this game. Maybe in 15 minutes. It's 6 months, the 15-minute void rate transition is going to be better. I mean, who knows? Neeb is a smart man. Didn't do a great job of understanding this game we called StarCraft. But because Neeb got that scout so early, his charge is going to be done. He's going to be able to deal with his army a lot better than most. He's got 8 gates. He's got charge. He's only on 3 gas. This push from Byun. Now, by the way, the stasis trap on the map, missed that. I'm sorry. The stasis trap from Byun is going to, or from Neeb, is going to delay Byun even further. So third base now getting dropped 6:30. So a minute faster than you would for your traditional 3-on-1. And that is another benefit of this build. But it does mean you don't skyrocket in supply as much as you otherwise would. And Byun, I cannot help but feel that you just don't want to push. Byun should just not push in this game as Zealots find their way into the natural, where they're going to get a tank for certain. They're going to get a couple Marines as well. Maybe some SCVs. We're going to have to see. It looks like they're going to try to bust the bunker down, but there we go. Yeah, they're actually just... I feel like Neeb didn't even want to do this. He did, very clearly. I mean, this is nice. It forces Byun back, but I feel like the better place... Ooh, good recall. He's going to lose maybe 1 Zealot, not even. Loses nothing, kills 3 SCVs in a tank. I feel like the situation with this is you want Byun to attack into you because you got a 30 army supply lead. Like, you want Byun to attack, you pounce on it, you kill his army, then you move in with a run by. Then you run onto the other side of the map, and you just make that 1-2 whammy. All right, so +1 is now done for Byun. Not quite there for Neeb. He's going to run Oracles in and delay the third base just a little bit. Kill off a couple more SCVs. The triple Oracle didn't find much value, but this double Oracle at the end of things is just going to get a lot more. No, Bunker's going to zone it out. But still, 4 workers go down. Drop into the natural, though. This is where the third base. This is where things get a little bit more complicated because Zealots are not great at drop defense, honestly. So probes, you have to get pulled out of the way. A bunch of these Zealots are falling. +1 Marines. They actually do very well against all of these Zealots. Zealots are beefy boys, but they don't got a ton of armor to them. Neeb, though, he does have the transition in this game. He's not going to stay on Gateway Tech quite as long. He's on 5 gas now. Colossus on the way. And most importantly, extend Thermal Lance. His Colossus will be able to fight when they're active on the map before there are 3 of them and they've been alive for 5 minutes. Okay, so now Byun moving out once again. He's roughly secured on that third base. He doesn't have really the gas for it just yet. And, you know, run bys are still possible, but Byun doing a great job knocking down all the rocks on the map, really giving him some rather quick pushing positions. But there's the stace there. No, Byun does see a nice vision there from Byun. But look at this. We got a big flank getting set up here by Neeb. The Zealots on the north side. Zealots and Stalkers on the bottom side, and Immortal as well. It's a human force field or a Protoss force field, knocking down so much of this army. Byun gets out with what he can, but that was disastrous for Macro Jackson here, for Micro Jackson, as he just lost so much. Now, saving grace here for Byun. These rocks he did not kill, so it's gonna be a little bit longer as we will see that one medevac go down even before Blink is complete. So it's going to take Neeb a little bit of time to punch through these rocks to put pressure on the third base. This gives Byun, of course, time to set up, to get his Widow Mines burrowed, to get more ghosts on the way. And I don't even know that we're going to see Neeb commit necessarily, at least not until his Colossus arrive in full force. He's got two, excuse me. His third one just about done. His Disruptor started to get added. But I mean, the supply that Neeb has right now, he is so far ahead of Byun just by reading what Byun did, not letting that 6-minute stim build get any sort of damage. That, I mean, he's got his 4 bases, he's on 70 probes, he's on 3 Colossus. Byun, he doesn't have a single Viking. He's got some Widow Mines and some ghosts, and maybe a good surround, maybe a good engagement, but it becomes problematic indeed. Now EMPs will blanket this army, and this is a terrible position for Neeb to run through. He thinks he can do it anyways. The Colossus run forward, and the siege units from afar knocking down so many Marines. Stalkers blink left, trying to get on top of things. Widow Mines are going to be rather nice indeed. One goes from downtown. Center mass on so many Stalkers, on so many Zealots. Now the Widow Mines are going to start to fall here. Good vision, good revelation here on the army. Now we're going to start these Stalkers. They blink onto the tank here, so no high range attacks coming in from Byun here. But Byun is taking this fight a lot better than he has any right to. As now EMPs once again. Ghost will die though on the rally. But this is a hard position for Neeb to step into. It really is effectively, he's setting himself up for a surround as one Colossus will go down. SCVs are going to get pulled here. This is Byun's one opportunity to try to make something happen before it just gets too far out of reach. Vikings knocking down a second Colossus, but the army of Byun is just not going to do it. Neeb does not give him a room back in this game. And we move into game 3 for all the marbles. So Byun, of course, with everything on the line, he's got a proxy. Now, of course, this is not super crazy. He's not a massively committed proxy, but he's going to build a Reaper out of there, and it's going to show up a little bit faster. Neeb, we're going to have to see if he builds a Zealot. I don't think he even started it last game. There's some Protoss players that swear by building a Zealot and canceling it if you don't need it, but I don't know that Neeb is necessarily one of them, and this may bite him just a little bit. Now, of course, you can wall off this Reaper cliff, which means the Reaper does have to run through the natural, and that is just a little bit slower to get damage done. Especially if Byun tries to jump up on the high ground and sees that it has been blocked, but that's part of what the SCV is for. Maybe. Or even better yet, the SCV is going to go and build a bunker in the natural, although good scout here from Neeb. He's going to say, okay, I can get damage done on this immediately. Second probe gets pulled down to make things even more complicated, but the SCV finds itself in a little bit better of a position, so only one probe can fight at a time. But now as the Reaper arrives, there's just going to be some dead SCVs. So one SCV goes up north, and that SCV can get it anyways. He does. Oh, okay, that's actually really big. And there we go. That's the cancel. So the Reaper into the main base now, but the Stalker is just about out. Interesting that it was a Stalker opening, not an Adept. You really do kind of wish you had an Adept here, but even still, Stalker's going to be able to knock this Reaper down. There we go. 2 probes die. That could have been so much more annoying. Well done. Oh, excellent crisis management from the North American Protoss player. I mean, it could have been better. You could have only lost 1 probe. But considering that it was a threatened bunker, which would have denied mining for a while, would have forced a shield battery early, forced us to pile on the low ground early, Neeb he's going to be very happy with how this all ended up. And because the threat of, say, a lot of different options has now been removed, any sort of early barracks pressure, you say, okay, yeah, Stargate, that's going to be a great play. It's going to counter any sort of crazy aggression coming in from Byun, and it's going to give him scouts for whatever Byun is doing. And of course, it also represents damage, if he's going to be able to make that happen. So the second question I ask myself, is it Oracles? Is it Phoenix? We saw the Oracles actually be rather effective in that first game, and the Cyclone's going to get a lock on the Stalker, forcing the recall right there. But Stalker, Neeb has been so on top of his recall this series. He has saved so many units that it did not feel like they had any any hope of being saved. But nonetheless, he did, and that just allowed him to compound his lead further and further and further. But okay, it will be Phoenix this game. It looks like it's going to be Phoenix charge lot, which I do like. We talked to Ryung in TSL about the changing Protoss meta, where it used to be Protoss just very content to defend and turtle up and get up to Colossus tech and be very happy, and you know, all these robo openers. And now the Protoss instead they're going aggro. They're going Phoenix charge lot. They're going pure charge lot. They're doing a bunch of different stuff. Oracle into Blink Stalker, which was a build that was supposed to define Katowice and then didn't. All of these builds are early game aggression. They are making it hard for the Terran to grow properly. At the very least, they're able to aggressively deal with Terran options. As now the Phoenix dives in and says, okay, 3-1-1 type of setup, but I see Stim on the way. So that's going to tell that is going to be much quicker Stim than Neeb is possibly expecting. I mean, well, than we would expect out of that, again, that standard 7:30 timing. But Neeb, he's rather aggression-minded in this setup, as he does have, of course, 3 gateways, 4th one on the map here, and it will be Blink. It will be 1 Phoenix into Blink. So I guess scouting Phoenix for lifts, and then heavy aggression coming in from the onside Protoss player. I don't know how much I'm torn. 4-gate Blink into early Stim on the one hand can be very nice. If you're able to nip away at the Marines, you're able to nip away at the bio, when there are no tanks, it works out very nice for you. On the flip side, Stim bio is just the age-all, the traditional counter to all of this. So Phoenix, of course, giving high ground vision, scouting forward, says, okay, what's your status here, Byun? What's your tech at? And for right now, the answer is Byun has no tanks. He's got 2 Cyclones. That really is the only units that are going to scare these Stalkers coming out of the factory, because, of course, well, there's no tech lab on it anymore. And there we go. So now Stalkers in the natural, killing off a couple Marines. Stim is done. Combat shield is done in 5 seconds, but with no medevacs on the field, every single Stim is expensive. It's 20% of Byun's HP. So the Stalkers, again, they're going to blink back. Byun runs out, but you do this a couple more times, these Marines are going to be absolutely paper. But medevacs, they're on the way now. They will be able to handle this eventually. Phoenix runs forward. Phoenix just goes down. So no high ground vision available for Neeb anymore, but he's got charge and +1 on the way. Stalkers, then they're looking for something. No Stim from Neeb just yet. There we go. Good blink to break the lock on. But we do know that Neeb is going to be aggressive. This is 6:30. Third base is not on the way just yet. In fact, he's adding 2 additional barracks. So this is a 5 racks all in coming in from the former world champion in this game, number 3. Come hell or high water, he's going to make something happen. But oh, this is such a good scout for Neeb. Not only is he going to delay one of these barracks, he sees that the barracks are on the way. It's a very different idea. You're holding against the 3-on-1. You say, okay, there's going to be a third base on the way. I don't have to worry about this too hard. I just get a lot of zealots. 5 racks, though. It's so much more production. And Neeb recalls. Oh, he's right where he needs to be. Medevac will not fall. No, he gets 1. He's going to get all the Marines out of it as well. And a couple more. So a couple SCVs fall. Medevac dies. Byun does not get what he needs. And more zealots warping in. Robo on the way. This is just going to be 4 Immortals. No Colossus, no Robo Bay, nothing like that. Neeb, he just needs units. He needs them now, but he's already nursing a supply lead. Now, Byun, of course, should eclipse him as the game goes on. After all, it's 5 racks. But the moment Neeb is staying even. In fact, he's getting ahead on the supply. His army, it's not high tech. It's just a bunch of charge lots and stalkers. But Byun is not in a situation where that really is something that he can overcome super easily. And now Zealot's going to warp in here defensively or aggressively as well, looking to force Byun back home. Zealot runs forward. Stalker's a bit of an awkward position. So Byun can look to capitalize on this when the entire army of Neeb is not quite here just yet. By the way, we don't have any detection, so Widowmines are just going to have to get blinked out on Byun, choosing to take the fight against the Zealots. Now Stalkers run forward. That Widowmine will fall, and the Zealots in the natural are causing havoc, forcing Byun to be even more all in than he already is. So Byun sitting here, hold position, micro. So Neeb loses a couple Stalkers, blinks back. First thing he gets, though, is a bunch of observers. 1 Widowmine is going to get a big shot here, but the Stalkers on the surround. Byun, he's going to try to get as many as they can, but Neeb, he's got a date with Dark in the finals. Well played, holding off the aggression in game 3.